Hi guys and girls, video here on estimation in the realms of estimating calculations rather than estimating angles, that kind of thing. So I think I've got 6 here for you. The key to estimation is to round to one significant figure. If you round to more than that, the chances are, especially when it comes to exams, you'll be marked wrong. Even though your number might be closer to the actual answer, the skill they're looking for is round to one sig fig, short for significant figure. So the first question you need to ask yourself is what each number is to one significant figure. So if we take this first one here, what is 142.75 to one significant figure? Well, the first significant figure just means the first number that's not a 0. So that would be the 1. Now, if you imagine your hundreds, tens, units columns, that one there is in the hundreds column. So you would round that number to the nearest 100. So that's going to be 100. You don't need to put 0.00. You can if you want, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't count for anything. So the next number, 9.56, the first significant figure is the 9, the first one that's not a 0. And in terms of columns, that would be in the ones column or the units column. So that's what you're going to round to. You're going to round to the nearest 1, or the nearest whole 1, which would be 10. So as an estimation for this, we get 110. If we were to actually work it out and do 142.75 times, my plus sign's gone, plus 9.56, we've got 152, which seems like quite far away, but as an estimate, it's fine. Don't know what's going on with that plus sign at the moment. Now I know it's very tempting maybe to say that this one should be 140 and this one should be 10, therefore you get 150, which is closer to the real thing, but you will be marked wrong because they are looking for that one significant figure. Okay, on to the next one. So the 8 is the first significant figure, the first one that is not 0, which is in the ones column, or the units column, whichever one you call it. So we are going to round to the nearest 1, or the nearest whole number, which is going to be 8. For 1.87, again, it's a number that starts in the ones column, so we round it to the nearest 1, which is 2. So as an estimate, we are going to say that this is 6. We do not need to work out the real thing. Unless it tells me to do the real thing, then fine. But if it just asks you to work out an estimate, you don't need to know what the real thing is. Okay, a timesing one. So this one, the first one that's not a 0 is in the first decimal, or the tenths column. So that's what we're going to round it to. We're going to round it to the 10th, or to the first decimal. So that is going to be 0.5, because 0.48 is closer to 0.5 than it is to 0.4. And for this one, that number starts in the thousands. So if we round that to the nearest 1,000, we get 2,000. So as an estimate, 0.5 times 2,000 would be the same as saying half of 2,000, which is 1,000. On to a division. This number here starts in the hundreds column, and to the nearest 100, this would be 400. This one here starts in the ones or units column, which means it's going to round to, is it going to be 8 or is it going to be 9? It's going to be 8. Then we need to do 400 divided by 8, a little bit of bus stop. or short division method, whichever one you call it. So 8s into 4 don't go. Chunk the first two together, or carry the 4. 8s into 40 go 5, no leftovers, and then 8s into 0 go 0 again. So we have, as an estimate, 50. And we can do some quite complex calculations with it as well. So as long as you do the same thing, each one to one significant figure, then do the sum, you're fine. So the 9.9, what do you reckon to one significant figure? Well, that 9 is in the ones column, so we're rounding it to the nearest 1, and that is close to 10. For the 285, that is a number that is in the hundreds. Is it closer to 200 or 300? It's closer to 300. 18.6 is a number that starts in the tens column. So we're going to round it to the nearest 10. That would make that 20. And 3.3 is a number that starts in the ones or units column, which means we are going to round it to the nearest 1, or whole number, which is 3. So now we have a calculation to do. We have 10 times 300, well that's 3,000, and 3 lots of 20 is 60. So we need to do 3,000 divided by 60. So the very first thing you can do is say, right, both of them end in a 0, so I can take them off. So now I'm left with 300 divided by 6. A little bit of bus stop again. So 6's into 3 don't go. Carry or clump, depending on how you're taught to do it. 6's into 30 go 5 with no leftovers, and 6 into 0 goes none. So again the answer is 50. And the very last one for this video, we've got the 4 numbers that need to be estimated. 64.5 is a number that starts in the tens column, and 64.5 to the nearest 10 is 60. 5.7 starts in the ones column, so 5.7 to the nearest 1 or nearest whole number is 6. 8.5, much like the 5.5, starts in the ones column, so we've got to decide whether it's going to go to 8 or 9. If the decimal is 5 or higher, it goes up, so this is 9 to the nearest whole number. And same kind of idea with the 9.5, that's going to round up to 10. And now we do the calculation. So 6 60s, well I know that 6 6s are 36. I've got a 0 on it here, so I have to have a 0 on it here. And 9 10s are 90. Again, they both end in a 0, so I can take the zeros off. So now I've just got to do 36 divided by 9. And hopefully we know, or we can count up in 9s and say that that is 4. And that is how you estimate calculations. You round to one sig fig and then do whatever the calculation is. There's no need to work out what the actual answer is, so you should not at any point be reaching for a calculator. Only if they say, well, okay, now compare it to what the real answer is. But for basic, straightforward estimation, that's all there is to it. Anyway, I hope that all makes sense, and I'll catch you later. Bye!